Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at the pronunciation and meaning of shout out. So this was something that was requested by a viewer, and also I did a poll on our community page, and it was one of the more popular new words that was requested. So we'll talk about the other words there as well, but people use the term shout out to mean to acknowledge and to thank. So I'd like to give a shout out to all of you who have made requests and suggestions for what to cover, especially to those of you who have subscribed to the channel, and a big shout out to our channel members. I couldn't do it without you, and I really appreciate your support. So that's how you would use shout out in everyday speech, and you will hear it in places like on YouTube videos. It's kind of a modern term to thank and to acknowledge. So, how do we pronounce this phrase, shout out? Um, unlike, well, let's talk about how it's pronounced and then how it's not pronounced. So, we have stress on both of the words here in shout out. My main stress is going to be on the shout. It's the most important word, but I don't want to just only stress shout. That would sound like shout out, shout out. And you can hear how I can't really clearly hear the out there. And so we need a little bit of length and stress and a clear vowel on out as well as on shout. You can see they're spelled the same way, and these are both the same vowel. They are both the ow vowel. We write that sometimes as OW, as in ow, that hurt. We also write that as AU and OU, obviously, here. So thinking about it, I wrote it a couple of different ways down here to try to help you with that. The letters SH say the sh sound. So for some people, that sh sound can be challenging. They may have a tendency to mix it up with the s sound. The sound that letter S, the s sound makes, is the tongue more forward, and the sh sound, you want to pull your tongue back a little ways, but you do want the sound to be able to continue, versus the ch sound that I sometimes call the CH sound. That's a pushed out sound that can't continue. So thinking about shout out, we link these two together when we're talking, and that means that my T, rather than sounding like shout out, is going to be a flap T, and it sounds more like a D. That makes this whole thing sound more like one word altogether as well. Shout out, a shout out. So you can think of it as a light D. We do say the T and D sounds in the middle of words with this flapping sound. So thinking of it as a D usually works for people. And then the final T, we may or may not let that sound out. I might say shout out or shout out. I'll go up and stop that T, and I won't release the air. You can find out more about all of the different things the letter T can say, all the different sounds, how it works in linking in the middle of words in our videos about American T, also in our online course, The Sounds of American English. We break down all of the different sounds of English and all of the details of how they are pronounced and spelled, so you might find that to be useful. That's on speechmodification.com. All of our online courses are either free or under $2, so do check those out. They help build a really strong foundation for you to be able to say whatever you want to say smoothly and easily in your everyday speech. Okay, anything else I wanted to say about shout out? I don't think so. I gave you some examples of how to use it. If you have a request for a word you'd like to know more about pronunciation, meaning, we usually focus on pronunciation. Sometimes with a word like this, that's a typical American phrase. I do like to also give you a little bit of a heads up about the meaning of it, so that's not out of the question. You can check out our Word of the Day playlist to see all of the videos for Word of the Day. And we have a free Word of the Day course that also shows you the meaning of the words. So if you want to get a little bit more into the vocabulary end of things, that's a great place to go. That's free, and it's on speechmodification.com on our courses page, so feel free to check that out. I'll be back again tomorrow with another Word of the Day class, as well as on Friday, we have our live question and answer class. You can attend, type your questions in the chat, and I'll answer them for you live. Thanks so much, all of you. A shout out to all of you who have been watching, supporting, leaving comments and questions. I really appreciate it. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.